How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video today. Apologies for a bit of inconsistent filming. I've not done a video in a couple of weeks now, about a week actually, and I'll explain why now. So in a little minute, what the hell am I on about? In a short while, in a little bit, in a whatever, I'm going to show you a couple of clips of my car from about a week or two ago. Some issues that I've been having. Basically, one morning, I turned my car on in the morning for work. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning, quite a cold day. And the car, I was sat in the car, obviously because I got the KMS Section 18, it's a really noisy car, so you can pretty much hear every little part of it. It's hard to explain what I'm saying, but the issue is more noticeable in a louder exhaust system is what I'm trying to get at. The whole car was shaking, spluttering, and it was basically sounded like a complete misfire, and the car wasn't running right at all. I turned the car off, left it for a couple of seconds, put the ignition on, let the computer start up, actually turned the engine on, and then it was completely fine. However, there was quite a lot of white smoke coming out of the exhaust, which worried me straight away. So I then continued to drive to work. The car drove completely fine. There was no spluttering or anything like that. Like I said, the car was completely smooth. I got to work, turned it off. I was thinking about it all day. It came to my break time. I went out and started the car again, and it didn't start lumpy, but the white smoke continued for about 5 seconds after startup. Again, then I took it home at the end of the day. I started it and it did it once again. It started all lumpy after it had been turned off for a while, and again more white smoke. And then I thought the worst, really. I even phoned BD Performance, asked their opinion. I was thinking straight away it's going to be a cracked liner. It's such a common issue, and the irony of that, I've made a video talking about it and how annoying it is. Again, this car hasn't been block modded either. I was running a moderate stage 2 tune, so I started to think in my head, shit, have I run too much power through it, all this kind of stuff. In the forums, everyone's saying it sounds like it's gonna be a cracked liner. However, there were the few people that were saying, don't worry too much, mate, even though you've got some of these symptoms, it's not always going to be the case. But obviously in the back of my mind, I was thinking the worst of it, so I got myself a bit worked up, thinking, shit, I'm gonna need the engine rebuild, all this kind of stuff. But it's kind of looking away from that now. The symptoms of a cracked liner are, obviously, you got your white smoke, lumpy on startup, and one of the main ones is losing coolant like really quickly. I haven't lost any coolant at all. My coolant has stayed the same for months now. Another thing to check is open up your coolant reservoir, smell it to see if it smells of fumes, which it wasn't at all. No coolant hoses have swollen. What other things are there? And the fact that it's really inconsistent. Now, for the last 3 days, the car started up fine, as you saw at the start of the video, which is strange. It's completely fine. Most people are saying if you've got a cracked liner, it's going to be doing it 9 times out of 10. I've seen some clips on YouTube of white smoke, really thick white smoke, just constantly pouring out of the car. And in the comments are saying this is happening pretty much all the time, which I haven't got, which I'm really happy about. So some other things to check are butter-like stuff, cream that collects at the top of your oil filler cap. Take that off and have a look if you've got any what they describe as butter. None of that at all. No contaminants in my reservoir, because obviously when you have a cracked liner, your coolant and your oil mix, so there's no crap in my coolant reservoir. Check your oil, check if it looks shiny or anything on top, any rainbow looking stuff where coolant's mixed in it. Again, I haven't got that at all. I've recently serviced the car anyway, literally probably a few weeks ago now, so that the oil still looks sandy colour, which is good, it's fresh. But overall, it's looking to me, my dad, luckily for me, I didn't drive it the next day to work. I was a bit worried about it, didn't want to put any miles on it. I've even, luckily with the DreamScience software, I can detune the car again. It's running a stage 1 now, just for the sake of not running it too hard. Just want to take a bit of ease off the car. So my dad, the legend he is, spent a good few hours doing some compression tests on my car. Checking all the plugs, did the compression tests, and every cylinder is completely fine. If you have a cracked liner, depending on the size, if you have a really small hairline crack, a compression test will not necessarily recognise it, but 9 times out of 10 it will recognise the fact that you've got a cracked liner. Your compression will be very low in the cylinder, but like I said, all mine were okay. However, the things that we did notice, which isn't good, is I have got a small amount of oil in cylinder 2. And when my dad took the spark plugs out, all the other spark plugs were completely fine. They're not that old either. But spark plug number 2 was wet with oil. So somehow there's oil getting into one of the combustion chambers. and which is making me feel it could be valve seals more likely than not. I've done a lot of research on it, watching some videos. There's a 13-year-old car, heat and then cooling down again, dry and wet, causes things to, you know, the rubbers eventually turn to almost like plastic and they become rigid and they crack. And obviously when the oil in the engine, when you turn the engine off, all the engine's going to sit. It's going to sit on top of the top of the valves, and because of the vacuum in a car, it's trying to suck that oil through. And if you've got a really weak valve seal, it's then pulling the oil through, causing it to go into the combustion chamber. So, a long story short, when I'm turning my car on, the reason it's misfiring at the start is because spark plug number 2 is wet, so it can't spark. So it's only firing on 4 cylinders rather than 5. And that's causing the white smoke because it's burning off the oil. And once it does burn off the oil, all 5 are going and there's no smoke anymore. That's what I think. Not obviously that's not the 100% truth yet. I'll find out on Monday as my car is going into the garage. But it's looking that way, which I'm happy about, hopefully. It could also be a head gasket, which I'm completely fine with. I just don't want it to be a cracked liner. Sorry if this is a bit boring, guys. I know this is just me waffling on about the condition of my car, but I wanted to give a reason why I've not really made any install videos recently, is because I'm trying to, you know, sort the issues out rather than doing bits of the car first, trying to get around, you know, the diagnosis of this car. So Monday, hopefully I'll find out some good news. I know it's bad news, but good news in the sense that I'm hoping it's not a cracked liner. I don't want to pay all that money. If it comes to it, I mean, so be it. But it doesn't look that way, which is good. Next week, I will give you an update on what this situation is. Right in front of me here, I've bought myself, because of the spark plug condition, 5 brand new RS spark plugs. I'll get one out for you quickly. So this is the plug, RS spark plug. And yeah, these will be installed in the car once I have resolved the problem. Obviously, there's no point putting them in now because the fact that there's still oil getting into cylinder 2 would cause these to get buggered as well. But yeah. So guys, I've got a couple of videos of the car starting up where you can hear it literally sounding like a Subaru pretty much. Firing on 4 for like a few seconds with some, the white smoke isn't very thick, but you'll see in a video in a second. And then another video of just smoke. It looks more like vapour, just lightly coming out of both pipes. It's nothing too thick or obvious, but it's noticeable. I'll play those videos to you now. So in the comments, guys, let me know what you make of those little clips. Let me know if you've had any symptoms of a cracked liner and it hasn't resulted in being a cracked liner, or maybe even if I've seen some people say that they had a cracked liner, had no symptoms at all, which is a little bit worrying, but that's part of the lottery with these cars. But yeah, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up there. I think I've covered everything I wanted to. Thanks to everyone in the forums. I know a lot of you know who I am anyway in there, so really appreciate all the feedback and the knowledge that you've given me. Little things to look out for. And shout out to Zach Darlow if you're watching this for the compression tester, mate. You're a legend. And yeah, guys, I'll see you next week. I'll let you know how the car gets on Monday. They're going to do a diagnosis, like I said, find out the issue, get the parts fitted in there, whether that's the same day or a different day, and hopefully get this baby running sweet again. So if you did enjoy the video, guys, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next week. Peace.